right, here we go. Our throwback series for 2026. Since it's the 40th anniversary of the real Ghostbusters, we are going to be doing the Kenner toy figure line that went along with the show. I think it's just perfect. 1986, this is where it all started. We have 10 waves in totality here for the entire series. Everything, it went beyond the second film as well, so we had some tie-in products at the time. I bet there's going to be some surprises there, some products you didn't know existed. So it's going to be pretty cool, but we're going to be looking at the figures, the ghosts, the vehicles, and the role-playing accessories. So quite a lot to get through. We're going to have multiple parts. For this first one, Wave 1, there are only 4 figures and 2 ghosts. Very simple. We're just going to do it all in one shot here. But going forward, there were multiple figures. There were multiple ghosts. There were tons of role-playing accessories. There was 1 role-playing accessory for part 1 here, but we're going to combine it with 2 because there was only 1 in each, and I think it's kind of boring to just do a video on just 1 product. So we're going to keep it all together. We're going to break it up a little bit. But let's get started, and we're going to be focusing on Wave 1. It came out in the, I want to say, holiday season of 1986, and more prominently in early 1987. And it was your 4 core Ghostbusters from the show, from the movie, and then 2 of our more popular ghosts, including Slimer, who they call Green Ghost, and then you have Stay Puft. Although not quite in scale, Stay Puft was a little bit bigger, but I mean, it would have been nicer if he was a full, I don't know, maybe 18 to 20 inches tall and came in around here. That would have been a lot cooler. But they went with just a slightly taller individual here. And if you go back and look at our video we did of all these figures and the re-release in 2021, you'll notice a lot of differences in not just the fact that they're all brand new, but the coloring was completely different. The Green Ghost is a lot more green. The streams are a lot brighter. These pieces were not as flexible. They were more rigid. He's even a totally different shade of white. And this is a pretty good Stay Puft for 1986. I mean, yeah, he's a pretty white. I mean, over the years, he's gotten scuff marks on him and whatnot, but this one has stayed pretty clean. So the newer one's even whiter than this. So they use different plastics, different materials. The ghosts were a lot more flexible back then. The ones we got now are a lot more rigid. You couldn't really do this with the new ones. So that's how you can really tell that, and that they're all stamped a little bit differently than the modern counterparts. But that's it for the, just want to do a quick on the differences. So we're going to show you these figures and a little variant that we discovered along the way. All right, we got all our characters here. I got to start with Ray. He's center frame here, and he's just kind of the heart of the Ghostbusters, so that makes sense for me. Now, these figures have a lot of similarities with them. They're all packed with this translucent ghost here. This is a little grabber ghost. What's really weird is they're all stamped 1984 Columbia Pictures, which is when the first Ghostbusters movie came out. But all these figures came out in 1986, and they're based on a cartoon mostly. So it's kind of weird they went with that stamp there. But the packs are very simple. You can see I mean, for the toy of the time, they're pretty well designed. They have the little loom coming out that connects to your neutrino wand that connects on here. The only problem is, although you could mount it on here, you can't really fit it inside the Ecto, which came out in a future wave, because you have these giant streams, and I'm trying not to snap it as I take it off. You have these giant streams in here, and they don't detach. So they were a great action feature. I mean, it goes on the arm here, and you twist this, and you have this great, attack the ghost with a little proton stream, but they don't come out, so you can't really take this pack and fold it up, which would have been really cool at the time, to then get it into the Ecto. But I mean, pretty well designed. I mean, he looks pretty close to his on-screen counterpart. Each of these figures is a little different. This one's got a little belly on him. The pack is very simple there, but still pretty effective, where you can mount the wand on at the time. This is 1986, so this is pretty well designed for 1986. A lot of detail on that pack still, too. You can see the little hoses and everything. I mean, they did a pretty good job for 1986. It's amazing. He's got a little emblem on his arm there. And, I mean, that's really it. But pretty cool altogether. Now, each of the guys, kind of like the Turtles, if you're a TMNT fan, have different color streams, just like the Turtles are all slightly different colors. So we have Ray there. Peter, of course, because of this little purple ghost, he has a green stream. I kind of like the green stream there. Commonly over the years, you've seen these things break, usually at the handle here, and then some at the top, or as a kid you played with a little too hard and they broke off. But he's got his brown outfit, looking a little bit more closer. I guess him and Ray look the closest to the original film. There's an episode where they explain why they have different uniforms, essentially. But this is kind of a fun look for him, and he has a great character look. His eyes are all green. He's got green eyes, so they made that little difference there in the show. Winston over here, mine's got a little bit of stain. I think it was some slime over time sat on him and dyed him a little bit. But he comes with this little duck-beaked, mohawked ghost, and he's got a slightly lighter yellow stream on there. Again, the same functionality between all of them. So the characters really here are just a little different in terms of how they're looking in their body dimensions, which I think was kind of cool at the time, because if you look at our reviews of other vintage lines, it's all kind of the same body, and they just kind of changed either the head mold or color it differently. Toy Biz did that a lot. They even kept the same exact body and just a completely different color, like U.S. Agent Captain America. But that was it. I mean, these are all drastically different molds. So that's really cool that Kenner did that, to give you a variety, to make these figures all feel different. And then you have Egon here. One thing I always loved doing with Egon was sticking the ghost on his head, because it just kind of fit. But he's got like this very lanky body, very thin, very lean, and he's got his red stream in the pack. Now, here's something I never noticed originally. I don't know how common or rare this is, but the packs originally have a mount here, as you can see, with the hose coming out of the cyclotron. It's coming out of the bumper, sort of, which is wrong. I mean, we all know it comes out of the bottom of the cyclotron, but for the simplicity's sake and the way these were all designed, they're all stuck like this. So you can see they just kind of mounted in the middle. There's a little knot that goes through the back, and I guess that was part of the manufacturing process. I found some examples where it's actually mounted properly, and it's coming out of the bottom of the pack. And again, I don't know if this was the original run, and in a subsequent wave, maybe wave 2, they decided to change it, or if this was the original and then this was a running change because it looks more accurate to the show. I think it's cool. I got 2 of these. I got a Venkman one like this too, but the stream broke at the bottom. And essentially, it just is very different looking compared to what we're used to seeing. Now, you can't see it in here because it's mounted in the bottom, so there's no way to see the string. I don't know if it's glued in there or if it's tied in there. It looks like it's kind of glued in, maybe. It's completely different. You could even see the inside of the way it's manufactured, and there's a little difference in there. But yeah, that's kind of cool. I did not know that initially, but when I started recollecting these again, I saw that they have 2 versions, and these are, I think cooler because they look more accurate to the show, to the film. So I would opt to get more of these, but it's hard to find this kind of example of the pack online because they're more commonly this way. So just something cool. If you come across it, there, variants exists where we have this completely different mount function on them, and I think these are much, much better. When Hasbro redid the line, they kept it this way. They kept it right in the middle. So I can't tell you when this figure was manufactured, if it was a run-on change, because it's just 1984. So it came out in the 86 to 87 line, and they kept reissuing that first line a couple times. So I can't tell you at what point that Kenner decided to make this little running change. But there it is. So there's your variant. Very cool. I don't even know how rare it is, honestly, but I think it's cool nonetheless. It's just something different, and I think a much more desirable version of the figure. So now we have our ghosts. We got 2 basic ghosts in this pack, and they went with the most popular ones from the film. And he's also in the credits for the Real Ghostbusters. Real Ghostbusters named Real Ghostbusters because there is a Ghostbusters cartoon by Filmation. Features a bunch of people hunting for ghosts, including I think it was a ape or a chimpanzee or something like that, or a gorilla. Yeah, it was I'm pretty sure it was a gorilla. This large gorilla that talked and also had a gun to hunt ghosts. So we have the Real Ghostbusters here. So with the Real Ghostbusters, we got our Stay Puft. He's got articulating arms, and his head turns, and that is basically it. There is not much else to this guy. He's tall, a little heftier, but he's not that big. Would have been nice to get one 4 to 5 times this size. And it could have just been a very simple figure hollowed out like this too. And I think it would have been pretty cool. But you know, that's your Stay Puft figure. You have a Stay Puft figure, so that's kind of cool nonetheless. And he fits really nice in your line, nice and white here, nice and clean one. Hard to find guys this clean these days. He gets really messed up. Easy to scuff him and ruin this figure. But here's your Stay Puft, very simple figure. And lastly, a very important figure for this line, Slimer, or Green Ghost. I mean, he's huge in the cartoon, talks, he's a central character throughout the show. Now he has this tail, and I feel like it's meant to rotate, so you could have him two ways. You could have him with this little bumpier this way. It looks like he's kind of gliding through. I usually rotate it this way, and it gives him like a point of stability so he could stand and not roll over. So you got two options with the tail. His arms move up and down. That's really it. That's all he really does. He comes with some food because it's Slimer and he eats. And they have little marks taken out of him. This one is only colored on the one side, a little piece of steak. He's got a pizza. Fits in here really nice. Doesn't quite line up with the teeth, but I mean, it does the job nonetheless. So he's got his pizza, and then he's got a watermelon that is painted on both sides. And now, like I said, these are very flexible. The other ones are very rigid, the new ones. So that's how you kind of tell the difference between the two, is the material. Completely different between the two. And this one, of course, is stamped 1984 Columbia Pictures along the stomach. And he is not as bright, I want to say. Let me grab the other one really quick. He is not as bright as the newer version of Slimer. So here is the 2021 version of Slimer. You can see what I mean. Even when he was brand new, he was never this bright. So these colors are probably closer to the cartoon, but I don't remember him ever being this bright. So I think it's just a different color scheme. He's also a lot harder. This is, so you hear that, the difference there? It's a soft, flexible rubber. It's a very hard rubber. So they went with a completely different material. A lot of these older figures are a lot softer, even the ghosts here. So that's the main way you can tell the difference on these guys is they're completely different material. So essentially, you got your two ghosts, you got your Ghostbusters here, who all came with little friends to, just give them a little world building. They need ghosts on, right? So you get your whole line right there, and you got a pack variant in this wave, or unclear if it came out in the first wave or if it came out at some point in release of the wave, but this is your first wave of real Ghostbuster figures from Kenner. All right, I'm excited to get this started. There's a lot more to go. I got all the way up to wave 9 done, and got a couple from wave 10. I don't think I'm going to be doing the Ectoglow figures. I never had them, and they are several $100s each now to try to get one, if you even can. You're looking at maybe $400 a figure. And we have the Hasbro ones, I think, are a really good substitute. We did a review of those, and the Tully one should be coming out this year, and the never-released Ectocopter should be going out this year. But we'll do the other stuff from that wave, including the role-playing accessories and that Ecto Bomber. So we will get everything there except for those last 5 figures, unless I come across them at a reasonable rate. But they are just very pricey. But we'll be checking everything else out. Some of those figures in the later waves, very rare, including the goblins and whatnot. So we'll be checking out all those figures and all those accessories. I noticed a couple other things, like this is not hollow, but on the 2021, it is hollow. So it's not just the way it feels, you get just the way they were made. I guess they didn't have the complete mold, but these used to be solid, and now they are hollow. So I guess that's a very nice commentary on remakes in general. Anyway, that is your first wave of the Real Ghostbusters figures from Kenner. Like I said, we'll be doing more. We'll be sometimes 2 a month. I think this is it for this month. We're just going to be doing 1. But next month, we'll be doing roleplay, and we'll be doing the Ghosts of Wave 2, because there were no new figures in terms of the Ghostbusters. It was just new ghosts. So we have a couple role-playing accessories, and then we have some ghosts we'll be checking out for Wave 2. Wave 3 gets interesting. We have some more Ghostbusters with action features, and beyond that, it gets even crazier as the waves continue on. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's going to be a great anniversary year. We know we have some figures coming out in the Hasbro line, including the Ectoglow Ghosts, which never existed in the original line of Stay Puft and Green Ghost. We have the Ectoglow Ecto 1, which never existed in the original line. We have the Ectoglow Copter, which was never released in the original line, but it was supposed to be part of Wave 10, so that should be coming out this summer. And we have the Ectoglow Tully. Beyond that, we don't know, but Hasbro has said they're quite aware that it's the 40th anniversary of Real Ghostbusters, so we'll see what that translates to in terms of product. That's all for this time. Like, subscribe, and follow for more. See you guys next time.